Good morning, Boundless Grace Church. Ron Branscombe here. Hope you're having a blessed morning. And I hope you have thawed out and dried off from all this rain we've been getting. Hey, I get the pleasure of bringing to you a quick summary of the book of Ephesians, Paul's letter to the church of Ephesus, chapter 3. And I just want to kind of hit on a few key verses that I think are good with this particular chapter. You know, Paul talks about the mystery of God and gives us some clarity on what that mystery is. And in verse 6, he says, "This mystery is that through the gospel, the Gentiles are heirs together with Israel." I don't know about you, but that's great news for us that are not Jews. So as Gentiles, we are part of the family of Israel, and so we are heirs together. So that was one thing Paul was pointing out in the church, and then also too, we get a little humbleness of Paul here. He speaks about God's grace, but he also says in verse 8, "Although I am less than the least of all the Lord's people, this grace was given to me, to preach to the Gentiles the boundless riches of Christ." So Paul's ministry was definitely to seek and to preach the gospel to the Gentiles and to be encourager to the Gentiles. And later in chapter 3, we get Paul showing the heart of prayer for the church of Ephesus. And in verse 14, he says, "For this reason I kneel before the Father." And then he gives a great description here, "so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith." And this is his prayer for the church. "So that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power, together with all the Lord's holy people, to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ." What a great summary there of chapter 3 in regard to the love of Christ. And, the song, "Deep and Wide," well, we get a great example of where that came from here, where Paul is explaining the depth of Christ's love. Hey, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for listening to this summary of chapter 3 of Ephesians. God bless.